All right. Hi guys, going to be going over a trade recap. Today I took longs on Thursday after FOMC yesterday. So I'm going to be going over the trade I took, why I took it, and what I saw. So yesterday we had this massive sell-off due to FOMC. The reason we had this sell-off was because we were seeking that weekly FEG. So I'm gonna pull my chart real quick. So on the weekly time frame, right here, we have this weekly BISI right here, right? So the weekly candle opened, manipulated all the way up, took this high, and then came down and to rebalance this weekly BISI. So that was the reason why we had that massive sell-off. And from this weekly BISI, I'm looking for a reaction out of this area right here, which is what we were having. So I'm going to do a quick rundown and top down. So once we had that weekly BISI, I was looking for my drawn liquidity. So if we go to our daily time frame, we have this big daily candle. So what I'm looking for is a move back up to premium, or at least equilibrium over here. So that's what I'm looking for, a move back up to equilibrium. So the 0.5, this is my drawn liquidity for this daily candle, So I was anticipating some kind of open coming up here as your manipulation and then distribution. But it's highly it's not really that much probability for it to occur, just because we had a very displacement candle. So after a really big range day, you typically tend to just consolidate or have these type of smaller candles. But this was my drawn liquidity. So after my drawn liquidity, I looked for SMTs. So when I was looking for SMTs, I usually like to look for SMTs on the hourly time frame, which is what we had. So ES took this low while NQ didn't. So we have these major 4-hour SMTs at these lows, or daily SMTs actually. Yeah. So we have SMTs. This gave me a lot of confluence as I was going down the time frames. So if I'm bullish and I have a drawn liquidity, how are we going to deliver there, right? So on the hourly time frame, there was this hourly BISI, and what I was looking for was an internal to external play. So this hourly BISI offering fair valuation to this high up here. So higher time frame goal for me was equilibrium, but on the trade I took, my drawn liquidity was this high right here. Because I'm not really going for home runs, I'm more of a base hit trader. So I like going for base hits and not really like these long trades. So after that hourly BISI, I wanted to look for confirmation within that PD array to go long. So what do I want to look for in a hourly BISI? I want to look for either a 5-minute inversion or a 5-minute change state delivery. So from this hourly BISI, you can see how price was just accumulating. Then we manipulate it into the hourly BISI. From this hourly BISI, we had SMTs after sweeping these lows, while NQ didn't, or ES didn't. After we swept these lows, we came back above. We had this change state delivery, this 5-minute change state delivery, And we also had this breaker. So this last down close candle from this move, we had that change to delivery. So we looked for the up close candle as our breaker. We had a fair value gap right here. So this entry would have been the ideal entry, but I wasn't there. I wasn't on the 1 minute time frame at that time. So I took my trade off the 5 minute change to delivery. So this level, this red level right here, is where I got in. Stop loss was at the low, 20 points. And my target was -2 standard deviation. I drew out my projections from the swing low to the swing high, from the manipulation leg into this hourly BISI. So we had our accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and I got out right here at this level up here. Before 9:30 opened, we came all the way down. So this very big wick is where we came all the way down. I did not move my stop to break even before 9:30, because if 9:30 were to Judas and manipulate to the downside in an aggressive way, it could run my entry and stop me out, which is why I didn't move my stop loss to break even. But at the same time, I was comfortable with the risk that I put on the trade. So I didn't really move my stop loss to break even. I kept it where it was, and I just let the trade pan out. Either it was going to be a loss or it was going to be a winner, right? So I let the trade pan out. It went in my favor. 9:30 Judas all the way down, took sell side. We also had a 1 minute SMT. And then after the Judas, we came back up, 9:30 opening, and we went to the -2 standard deviation. From there, that was where I got out, because -2, -2.5 is the area where you usually anticipate price to reverse or retrace. And from this area, we then later reversed. So yeah, this is where I got out, and I took this trade on my personal account, and I also took it on one funded account. So yeah, this was the entry, that was the exit. Usually December, I like to be risk off, just because the volume and volatility isn't really there on the last day or the last month of the year. So I like to be risk off, and for that reason, I'm only trading like 2 MQ contracts on my personal account. But yeah, so I took that trade on my personal and one funded, and overall, it was a very great trade. It went with everything I trade. Like, it went with the way I trade, my PD array, my point of interest, how we're gonna deliver there, and yeah, it was basically just a base hit, and it wasn't anything too crazy. But if I go to my chart and I go to the 4-hour time frame, I was anticipating this area to be tagged, which is equilibrium of this daily range, just because we're from this weekly BISI. So these 4 candles are the weekly candles, so we can see how we're stinging into this weekly FEG. So if price does react from here, I'll expect us to run at least up here and then continue going lower, or just have this weekly fair value gap offer fair valuation to these highs up here. But that was really what I saw today after the sell-off from yesterday, just a retracement back up. And yeah, it was a quick one and done, and it was just an A+ trade for me. So I give it a 5-star rating from this trade, and yeah, that's pretty much everything I saw. And we're gonna see how this weekly candle closes from this weekly FEG, so that'll be interesting to see. But that's everything for this recap. Hope you guys learned something, and take care.